What's up, guys? I'm Zach Nava, and this is Nava Reptiles. So first of all, if you made it over here from Brian Cusco's channel because of his shout out today, thanks, Brian. I feel no pressure whatsoever having been sent over here by you. I hope this lighting looks a little better. But anyways, if you guys are over here thanks to that, I appreciate you guys giving my channel a look, and I hope that you guys will consider subscribing after kind of finding out a little bit more about me. But anyways, I thought for this second video we'd actually take a look at some animals. And so the first one I ended up with was my boy Guapo here. So Guapo is kind of a special case, and I think that's kind of why I wanted to talk about him first. He is an albino boy, and he was actually a rescue. So a friend of mine and I, a while back, I'm going to put him back in his tub. I think he is. I'm getting just a little squirmy, so I'm going to put him back just so I can talk to you guys a little bit easier. But he's super good on camera. But no, he was a rescue. So I've had him for, I'm not even sure, I'd have to look, a couple years I think at this point. And he was at a local pet store. So he had been there for a number of weeks and had not eaten for them at all. I'm not sure who produced them. They said it was a local breeder, but as far as who it was, I don't know, and it's not really important. But they'd had him for a few weeks. He had not eaten since he had been there. So of course you guys are probably familiar with the way that most pet shops keep things, and a lot of times I think for baby ball pythons, you know, like the glass case with the lighting on all day and all that stuff, no, you know, lack humidity and all. I think that's probably mostly why he wasn't eating initially. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was that they took him to a vet, which sounds like a great thing, obviously. But that vet, for some reason, and I need to find out who it was so I can know to avoid them, they apparently started giving him laxative because they said that they thought that he was jammed up and, you know, wasn't able to pass things, and that's why he wasn't eating. So now they've taken an animal that's not eating, that as far as they've seen is not drinking water, and based on how he looked, I'll put some images up on screen. He was super dehydrated, he was super skinny, he was dying. Thankfully this was a smaller pet shop we actually kind of already had a relationship with, and you know, so when we suggested that they just hand him over to us and we would do what we could for him, they were able to do that. So we took him home, and literally we got him set up in a really simple tub in quarantine area, just on, you know, paper towel, gave him some water in there, just heat, left him in with no lights on. They said he had been under lights basically the whole time he's been there. So we left him alone for a little while and offered him some food. Literally within a couple hours of putting him into good husbandry, he was eating. So that was a really good sign, obviously. And then we actually soaked him in Gatorade, was something that we looked up and found out about online, that a lot of people that have dehydrated ball pythons, that was what we chose to do. That's not advice. I'm not recommending anybody do that, but that is what we did with him. And it worked out really well. He was stained a little bit blue for a while, but you'll see in some of the shots I'm going to put up that he obviously looks significantly better now. So he's kind of a best case scenario, I think, and I'm really glad to have him. So I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. But let's take a look at some other stuff. So come here, sweetie. All right. So this girl, I don't have names for everybody, but this girl is an orange ghost pastel, or pastel orange ghost, however you want to say it. And she might light my my microphone up and fuzzy little thing on top. But I don't think her colors are showing up at all on camera based on what I'm seeing, because she's a lot more orange. I guess that's the thing about orange ghost, is it's kind of hard to pick up. Maybe somebody can give me some suggestions on how to get her colors corrected, because like I said, she's a lot brighter than what I can see she's showing up as on camera. So, pastel orange ghost, female. There you go, sweetie. All right. Come here, mama. All right. Now this is another female. She's just a visual ultramale. So, single gene, but she is recessive. So I'm really big in the ultramale project. You'll kind of see the theme with my stuff. That's the direction I'm kind of taking with my things. I'm really big fan of this. This is like a T-positive albino type of thing. But she's just really pretty example. She's got a lot of orange, and again, I don't know if this exact shot's going to pick it up, but I did get some other shots with a different lens that I think actually shows her a little bit more accurately. But she's held her color really well for how old she is. She's nearly up to size for breeding. I don't know if she's going to go this year, but she definitely will next year if not. I'm not, in any rush with any of these guys. I'm just kind of taking my time and raising them up slow and things like that. So again, just a visual ultramel. Hey, sweetie. Come on. Let me see. Alright. Now this girl looks like she's maybe starting to go into blue a little bit. Her eyes aren't really capped over too much, but I can kind of see that sheen she's got. But anyway, she's a female leopard. No other genes beyond that. And I'm going to try my best to get some good shots with another lens to kind of show these guys a little bit better than what this particular one's doing. But this is just kind of trying to introduce you guys to my collection and kind of show what I'm working with a little bit. I love the leopard stuff. It's probably one of my favorite genes as far as incomplete dominant things go. So I do have a couple of different leopard females in my collection. I'm planning on producing a lot of these. So she has not been paired up yet, but I do have another leopard girl that I'll show you in a second that has been paired. Here you go, sweetheart. Stay. Right. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Okay. I know, big girl. So, this big girl, I think she's about 1,600 grams or so. She's looking really good, but she actually was the first animal that I ever paired. So, this girl came to me from Justin Kubilka. Shout out, Justin. Not that he needs any kind of introduction from me, but anyway, so she's a pastel leopard. And I'm telling you guys, there's just something about some of the animals that Justin produces. They just seem to pop a little bit more. The colors are just really nice. And I think that's just a testament to Justin's eye for what to hold back and to reproduce, because obviously the colors and stuff that of his animals are they're just bar none. But again, leopard pastel female, and she was already paired, like I said, to a male that I'll show you guys in just a second. And he is a Mojave Ultramel. So trying to get, and she's not just a pastel leopard. She's 100% Het Ultramel. So obviously I've got a shot at visual ultramels out of this clutch that I hopefully produce with her, and we'll have hopefully a shot at some leopard ultramels and some pastel leopard ultramels and Mojave leopard ultramels. So I'm pretty excited about her and kind of what's going to happen. So let's see what else we got. Here you go, baby. I know, Mama. I gotta put you away for right now. I'll get you back out later. Here. Come here. Oh, don't you hiss at me. Come on. You already made a mess in your cage too. I just cleaned you yesterday. Alright, so this girl, her name is Callie. She's, again, I don't know if you guys are picking up that hissing that she's doing. She's a big bluffer. She's a big sweetheart. But she just is not in the mood to be messed with today, I guess. Anyways, so this is Callie. She is a calico. Pastel calico, actually. I have a lot of pastel in my collection as well. That wasn't anything I did intentionally. It just kind of happened. You guys that are not aware, these guys are called ball pythons for, kind of the slang term for a reason. You can see how much she's balling up because she just does not want me to mess with her. And that hissing that I was saying she was doing is genuinely, it's not something that she's doing in some mean, angry way or whatever. It's just her saying, hey, I really am not in the mood to be, messed with and things like that. She just wants to be left in her house, and she's probably about ready to get fed. So anyways, pastel calico. She has not been paired up yet. Again, she's just shy of where I want her to be on weight. So I have not paired her. I don't know if she's going to go this year or not. I'm hoping that she does because I'd love to have some calico Het Ultramels to work with. But again, if it needs to be next year, then that's fine too. I'm not in any big hurry. That's Guapo again. So this little girl is just a pastel yellow belly, if I remember. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure just pastel yellow belly. Looking at her, that's what I'm seeing, and I don't recall having anything else in her. So, but she's a really pretty girl. I don't remember the name of the gentleman that produced her. He is actually here in North Carolina as well as I am. So I will do my best if I can to look him up so I can tell you guys about that later, because he was a super, super nice guy. Met him at the Repticon, and he was really great. He was there with his wife. But like I said, I'll do my best to figure that out later and go over it. So pastel yellow belly. You're okay. So you snake people will know that it never fails when you want to show off a snake. It's always in blue. This is one of my favorite animals in my collection, and her name is Misfit. So I don't know if it's going to come out on this lens, but I will get some shots of it with another if I need to, of her head stamp. You can kind of see it looks a lot like the band Misfits, their symbol. So that's why I call her Misfit. So she is, again, another one that I got from Justin Kabilka, though. And she's got a lot going on. So she is a fire, yellow belly, spot nose, and she's also 100% het for ultramel. So she, again, is obviously a lot smaller than that leopard girl that I have. That's already been paired. She's probably not going to go until next year for sure. She's got a little bit of a ways to go, and like I said, I'm not real big on power feeding and things like that. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do, though. Spot nose ultramels and spot nose yellow belly ultramels and just all that crazy stuff like that, combined with some leopard stuff, down the line things. I'm really, really excited about this girl and where she's going to take us in a few years. So that's her. Come here, Bubba. Everybody's so hissy today. Come on. So, this boy's hissing mostly because he's hungry. He had gone on a food strike and was demanding nothing but ultimately live. So, unfortunately, he is, for now, one of my only guys that's eating live. But he's upset because all they had was a small rat, so I think he's still a little hungry. But anyways, he's just an inchy boy, and honestly, the only reason I picked him up was just because I just thought he was a really great example of inchy. And again, I don't think this lens is, I don't think it's the lens. It's really my lighting. I keep saying the lens, but I don't think this is really doing him justice at all. I will try to again get some of those shots with a better setup, with maybe just him on like a white background, and maybe that'll show his colors off a little bit better. But once again, these guys are killing it on camera today. Yeah, I know, Bob. All right, I'm gonna put you back and leave you alone. You were hissing, and now you act like you want to stay out. So, anyways, but no, I got him just because I thought he was a really good example of inchy. I love the inchy gene. I think it goes well with everything, and so I just kind of thought that, again, taking kind of a page out of like Brian Cusco's book and some of those other guys, I thought I'd really like to produce my own hets with regards to ultramel stuff, but also even just things like inchy. If I can find a really nice single gene animal, to start out with, then I can keep that quality going through my collection. So, all right. So this boy right here is my Mojave Ultramel, and he has been awesome. So I got this guy, luckily, I was luckily able to pick him up from, again, Justin Kabilka, and he was a proven breeder from Justin, so I thought that was really cool, and a really great opportunity for myself to be able to have a male that Justin himself had, produced, picked out, hand-picked, and decided that was of the quality that he wanted to see in his collection. And so to be able to get a piece of that and put it into mine, obviously it can only improve the quality of my stuff, if I'm trying to, produce quality that's on par with his. But anyway, so yeah, again, this is a Mojave Ultra Male. He has already been bred to 3 females. So shout out to Justin. I literally sent him a text the day after I did my first pairing with him, because I kid you not, this guy has been such a pain to feed, and I think it was just because he was really interested in getting in with some females, because within like 3 minutes of putting him in, I already had my first lock, which I think I said in my last video was my first lock I've ever had, so we're kind of just getting started. So with him, there's something else I was going to say, but I don't really remember what it was. No, either way, doesn't matter. I guess wasn't super important. If I think of it, we'll go over it later. Who is in the bottom down here? I'm trying to remember. Alright, so this is Athena. That's right. So I just moved cages around, so I'm trying to remind myself where everybody's at. So Athena is another one of those that, again, she has a name, and most of my snakes that have names kind of have stories or, you know, some kind of importance or whatever, but not that they're not all important, but you know what I mean. So this girl right here was picked up actually by a friend of mine as her first kind of re-entry back into reptiles, and she's just a normal. She's just a big female normal. She's around 1,800 grams, which, you know, I say big. That's not big realistically, but she's the biggest female that I have. She's just a big female normal. She was also bred to that male Mojave Ultra Male. So again, I'm really trying to produce my own hets. I'm excited again to be working with that male that was handpicked by Justin and you know, for his colors and all. So I'm excited to to produce my own hets from that same line that he was working with. So again, these will just be, I have a shot with these to be they'll all be obviously 100% het Ultra Male, and 50% of them on average, which statistically, whatever, 50% on average will be Mojaves. I'm not trying to be a calculator cowboy if any of you guys get that reference. Anyways, but that was Athena. Go back in, Mama. I know. And she was just paired up with that Mojave Ultra Male boy as recently as last night. Let's see if I can get this girl out without getting tagged. She is always super nippy, but not because she's mean. She's just always hungry, which is not a bad problem to have. Come here, sugar. I know. Come on. So this is, she's what's called a trick, and she specifically is a Leeson line trick. And that's just reference to the guy that produced this line. He was, they were line bred his animals for a while, and I was always told that the Leeson line trick animals were the nicest of them. As far as there being any super great truth to that, I don't really know because I haven't seen enough to really differentiate. But she's just got kind of a crazy, just busier pattern than like a normal thing with like these weird O's and stuff like that. The trick gene is, I would say, subtle. I think especially to people that don't necessarily know what they're looking at. If I just showed you this girl next to like Athena that I just had out, she's probably not, like you'll be able to see it then. But if somebody just took this out and said it was a ball python, you probably would just think they all look this way, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, so she's a trick, Leeson line trick, and she was also paired up. So she got up to size this year. She's over 1,500 grams, which is kind of that line that I like to, or that standard I like to hit. And so again with her, I'll be looking to produce my own hets. I like any of the genes that kind of add like I guess what's the word, like pattern mutations. So especially working with a color more of like Ultra Male. So let's take a look at this guy once again, if he doesn't come flying out. So hey bub, come here. Yeah. Come here. I know you hate me sometimes. It's not time to eat today. Come on. Good boy. So, this is a super dwarf reticulated python. Everything up until now has been all ball pythons. I don't think I said much about that. I'm going to try to get him in the light, and I know this setup is more ideal for me to talk at a camera and much less ideal for showing off animals. I will try to get some footage of him outside at some point, and maybe I can cut that in. But yeah, so he is, or was sold to me as a pure F1 Kalatoa. I've been kind of informed after the fact, unfortunately, that may not have been the most accurate of information, which kind of goes back to something else I'll do another video on, which is the super dwarf and dwarf stuff, and just kind of being careful about, you know, doing your research on who it is that you're buying from, and you know, a lot of times it's not done maliciously, and I don't think that was the case with this animal. I think that the gentleman that produced him just honestly was not 100% as aware of the animals that, you know, he was working with as maybe I would have liked him to be. So this is just, like I said, as a little boy, he's I don't think a pure Kalatoa. I think there's actually a couple localities going on, but he's definitely is a pure super dwarf. I still do believe that, but unfortunately, as a result of not really knowing everything about him, he'll never be used for any of our breeding projects. So he's really just a pet, but he's a great pet to have. He's gonna stay super small. I've had this guy for like 2 years, and you see he's tiny. So when people say, you know, super dwarfs are just a result of underfed animals and things like that, it's absolutely not the case, because that boy never misses a meal, and he always thinks it's food time. No matter how much you give him, he would eat, you know, 3 rats and still come back for more. But anyways, so you'll see I'm using a snake hook for this one. These are just some of my bigger dwarfs, and these are kind of, to me, the you'll see this rack that I'm using. I can't stand this rack. And that's another video for another day. But this right here is my male. Come here, bud. I know. And I call him Kratos. I'm not going to get him out and mess with him too much today. You may not even be able to see him. Well, let me see. Come here, bud. I know. He's in blue, so I'm not really going to mess with him at all. He's really fine. I mean, you can see I can stick my hand right into his cage and all that, but with him being super deep in shed again, I just don't like to, you know, get them all upset and moving around. But let's take a look. This is actually his sister, and her name is Aloy. I call that boy Kratos. Yeah. Hey, sugar. You want to come out for a minute? Come on. Yeah, let me show you what. Oh, I know. Come on, Mama. Yeah. So this is Aloy. Hopefully I don't get pooped on today. I don't think I will. She actually needs to get fed probably this evening, so let's see if I can get her head up to the camera. She is on the move. As you guys know, retics are not probably the easiest things to film, because they do like to move around a lot. But anyways, Aloy, as I'm trying to get a shot of her, she is a visual tiger, reticulated python, but she is also 100% het for rennet ghost, and she is a dwarf reticulated python. So these two animals, her and her brother, come on, Mom. You're okay. Come on. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. We're not doing that today. Definitely not doing that. Alright, go back. Well, you guys may be able to see this. I don't know. Aloy has gone on walkabout. I'm just going to kind of let her do her thing for a few minutes. That's a good shot right there. A Slayer dwarf female with a Slayer hat. So, not quite the same spelling or meaning, but I'll take it. Come here, baby. I know you want to get out and run around and do whatever you want to do, but I have a video to finish today. Come on. You're okay. Good girl. Almost as if I can talk to her, she has put herself right back into her house. So, I really hope that this video is actually turning out, because this has been pretty entertaining. No. We're not doing that. Nope. Nope, not the business cards. Not today. Stay, baby. Good girl. I don't know how much of that you guys are going to be able to see, but yeah, that was completely ridiculous. I just redid this entire room, and so I was not fully prepared for how much stuff was going to be in reach of her, and that quickly got out of hand. But anyways, so I hope you guys had a good laugh about that. I think I'm going to call that a video. That's actually, I did get through all of the animals. I guess I should have listed myself about taking her out. But like I said, hopefully you guys got a good laugh. I'm sure that you did. I certainly did. And also, before anybody says anything, they are getting bigger cages. These are the FP70s. And in all seriousness, as long as she can curl up right on her hot spot with plenty of room to spare. They don't, neither of them have like rubs or anything like that. They do not seem to want to be moved around, too much more than they have. But again, they are getting bigger enclosures. They're already ordered. I've got them coming from Animal Plastics. Those of you in the industry will know Animal Plastics takes a little while. So unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure when those are going to be here, but those will be here soon. So I'm excited about that. So again, those were my reticulated pythons. I don't think I got to explain too well. They are 50% dwarf Solaire localities. And they are both visual tigers, 100% het for rennet ghost albino. Those are the only two in the world. There was a third sibling that was from that same clutch. There was only 3 eggs that survived and hatched. I'm not sure who ended up with that last sibling. I got these guys from Garrett Hartle at Reach Out Reptiles. That one was, and he was a male. He's obviously a 50% Slayer dwarf, but he is not a visual tiger, and he's just het for rennet ghosts as well. These two, though, will produce also some more world's first animals. They're the only 2 that I'm aware of. If somebody has some that are dwarfs with the same percentages and localities, let me know. But to my knowledge, they're the only 2 out there. So super excited about those, and seeing some, like a super tiger, rennet ghost, 50% Solaire, I think it's going to be mind-blowing. So that's something I'm extremely excited about producing. But like I said, I think I said a few minutes ago I was going to call this a video, so let's go ahead and cut it right there. Thank you guys again for tuning in for this. Between just Brian and Garrett and other Brian Farley, but just a ton of you guys out there have been super supportive, and not just people that are in the industry and things like that, but my friends and family and all that stuff, because this has been super nerve-wracking for me to do. I don't like sitting here talking to a camera. I hope that the visuals and stuff are getting better. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so stuff that doesn't come out perfect kind of drives me nuts. But I think it's definitely going to get better over time, and I hope you guys will follow along. I mean, like I said in that first video's title, document the journey is kind of the idea here. So I just want people that are maybe in the same spot as me or thinking about doing the things that I'm doing to kind of have somebody to look at and be like, okay, well, this guy's doing it, and he didn't know anything yesterday, and I didn't. I knew nothing about editing and all that stuff, a couple days ago. So if I can do this stuff, anybody can. So if I inspire anybody to to pick up something that they've been wanting to do and haven't done for a while, it was just one person, that's exciting to me. And I'm excited to see where this goes and to have you guys join me. So again, thanks. I appreciate y'all. I'm going on forever, but talk to you guys soon.